Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. This one is regarding the Dutchboys Hot Rod Camaro 317 mile per hour speed trap, which you need to do in order to beat the LA Builders event. The good news is this car isn't all that bad at speed traps, and many of the stage 6s are actually pretty strong. We're going to start off looking at Nitrous first, because it's one of the strongest stage 6s for this 317 mile per hour challenge. And Nitrous also, because of its increased duration, tunes a little differently and drives a little differently than most of the rest of the stage 6s. So first thing first, understand that this is full fusion. Without full fusion, your mileage will vary. Now, because Nitrous gives it a 5.0 final drive, 5.0 duration, with this higher duration, you can actually run a lower final drive to accomplish the same speed trap, because it's easier to time the Nitrous with a 2.40 and a 0-100. This car likes extra grip for its speed traps. You need the grip. Lowering the tire doesn't help. It actually slows the car down. So when it comes to Nitrous, the driving technique is not difficult. Basically what you can do is skip to 4th, Nitrous, and then shift to 5th at perfect, and you should easily beat the speed trap of 317. So here we go. 5th gear. And by 5th gear, you'll hit the speed trap you need. You don't need to leverage the 6th gear. In fact, if anything, with 6th gear settings, it's harder. Alright, moving right along here, we're going to look at body. Body's another strong stage 6. Therefore, body's also pretty strong when it comes to getting the speed trap done. One important thing to note is once you take out Nitrous stage 6, your Nitrous duration will get very low. So what you want to do is kind of tweak it so that it's right at the point where it would be good for hitting it at the end of the track. Also, you're going to increase the final drive here to try to hit 317. Hold on. 311, 3.11 will allow you to top out at 317. Because of the shorter Nitrous duration, you're going to want to top out. Tire does not change. Nitrous is 3.3, so it's easy to use it in the final gear. Let's go ahead and run this and show you how this works. Because now you're tuned to top out in 6th gear, your Nitrous use will be in 6th gear as well. So you're going to launch and shift to, and kind of quickly shift but not immediately shift to 6th gear. Mostly done around 3,200 3,500 RPMs, like this. 6 Nitrous. This will allow Nitrous to run out right at the end of the track and giving you the 317 mile per hour. And there it is, 317.055, and that is body. Alright, next one up is tire. Now, because this car already used 0-100 tire grip, tire actually isn't that terrible for speed trap. Some cars you want to lower the tire settings. In this case, nothing really changes with the tune, and we're going to run tire. Now the dyno's not too optimistic. 281 mile per hour is a far off range from 317. Plus, is telling us half mile speed is only 316. So we're going to want to maybe tweak it down 1 point so you can at least see the 317 and a half. Top speed is 318. Although it's going to be hard to hit that 317. That's going to be the issue. Okay, let's go ahead and run this. So with tire, even though it's still at 0-100, even though it should grip more, it shouldn't really hurt it when it comes to the speed trap. But it probably won't hit 317 as easily as some of the other ones that we've seen. Alright, so I hit Nitrous in 6. Once again, let's see what the numbers come out to be. 312. Not terrible, but not great. So tire is probably going to need a combination with something. Alright, so jumping to trans now. Trans is another one that is relatively strong when it comes to speed trap. And once again, keeping the tune kind of where it was, we're looking at a dyno already of 296, which is very good. So let's run it and see what happens. All right, here we go. So again, nitrous in 6 at around 3,500 RPMs. Ah, 316.6. It's close. I know it can do it, so let's take another run. Maybe tweak this a little bit. Move the nitrous just a little more aggressive on the nitrous. Now, that means the duration shorter, but it'll push a little harder. We're not going crazy moving the nitrous around, but a little bit of a tweak to see if I can get that to push the car through here. Again, around 3,500 and then 3,000 and change in nitrous. And that looks like a 317 to me. 317, 148. No problem there now. So trans all by itself with a little bit of a nitrous duration tweak pushed it right on through without much of a problem. So now you got trans also can beat the entire thing with just one stage 6. All right, moving to engine. Engine is actually another one that adds a decent amount of mile per hour. In fact, it looks like engine's not that bad, but it's a little bit tougher to hit the exact time, or I should say the exact mile per hour, as compared to, say, doing it with nitrous or even trans or body. But engine has the potential of also hitting 317 without having to leverage another stage 6. Okay, now, yeah, wasn't the best shift pattern that I could have done. Let's see if it kicked it over to 317. No, 316, 631. Probably needs a tweak. So, much like before, I'm going to kind of move the nitrous a little bit. Now, and for the case of the engine, I'm moving it the other way because I think it'll help because it was just a little short, but it could use a little more duration. Now, mind you, this comes down to you could play with that nitrous a little bit one way or the other, no matter which stage 6 you're using if you're struggling to hit those numbers. Again, trying to keep the shift. Now that I have longer duration, I'm going to hit it at 3,100. And let me see what that gives us. 317,107. Okay, so engine obviously is also capable of doing this pretty much by itself. You don't need to have another stage 6 in place to get it done. All right, moving right along here, we're starting to get into the weaker ones. So after engine comes turbo. Okay, turbo unfortunately isn't strong as a stage 6, therefore its ability to really push this car into a higher speed trap is also pretty limited. So let's take a look at turbo by itself here. 278 dyno is relatively low, so even if you beat dyno by over 10 miles per hour, you're still looking at maybe a 300 and change. So you're not likely to instantly get anywhere near 317. But it doesn't mean that the shift pattern won't help it. It still will hit a certain amount of speed well over what it dynos. The main concern is whether it's actually going to hit anything near 317. And it does not, but then again, it's not really surprising. Okay, jumping right along here, we're going to intake. Intake, again, much like engine, relatively weak by itself, but enough to get you still easily 10 plus mile per hour over whatever the dyno says. So this one's even slower at dyno 277, but once again, it depends on nitrous duration. You can make it look better with a little higher duration, but it may or may not actually change the final result all that much. Still, intake definitely by itself should not be able to hit 317. Let's see here. I'm trying to. Wasn't the best drive, but let's see what happens. 310.2. It ran a little better than we did with turbo, but turbo and intake is basically the same when it comes to pushing that speed trap. Knowing all that, now we can also say pretty definitively that turbo and intake together won't be enough to push this car through 317. This is the weakest combo, and it's the one combo that won't hit 317. All other combinations should hit 317 without a problem. But let's go ahead and do a test run, see how close I can get to 317 with just these two. Now, these two added with tire, engine, any other one obviously would hit 317. It's just the two by itself right now won't do it. Okay, shifting again, getting to 6 and nitrous. Looks about the same as when it was by itself. I mean, these two, even working in combo, only added about 2 miles per hour. So not a good combination. This is the weakest combination. However, all other combinations are pretty good. Let's look at another combination that has stage 6s that won't do it by themselves, and that is tire with turbo or tire with intake. Okay, everything else here can do it by just one stage 6, so therefore we need to test the twos that are not going to be able to do it by themselves. Again, if you have fusion differences, that comes into play. So remember, the more fusions you're missing, the more stage 6s you're going to need to compensate for it. However, if you have nitrous, obviously it can compensate a lot for any missing fusions. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Nitrous is quite important overall. Okay, here we go again. Nitrous in 6. That looks close. That might make it, but it looks very close. 316.6 isn't going to cut it. Let's make another run. But let's see if I need to tweak the nitrous a little bit. Right, so we're going to do 3.1 nitrous this time. Do another run and see if I can push it through with just these two. Again, I think it's doable. It's just a matter of getting it right on the shift pattern. And also, the slight tweak on the nitrous hopefully will give us a little bit of a edge there on the final mile per hours. Yep, that looked like 317 was hit. Let's take a look. 317.1, okay? So that combo, no problem. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other alternate combo, which would be tire and intake. So tire and turbo can do it. Tire and intake should be able to do it. But, you know, only way to find out for sure is to actually test it. So the two being pretty close, I mean, again, it comes back to a little bit to the nitrous duration slash the shift pattern. In fact, the shifting points, if you were very careful and do them very carefully at 3,200 or 3,500, you may find that you may actually be able to do even better than what I did with these speed traps. Okay, so again, there we go. This is going to be close. It's very tight. Oh man. All right. Okay. This is one more try. This is obviously doable. It's just going to be tough to do. I wasn't quite expecting that, but you know, it worked with the turbo using the 3.1. I was hoping intake would be the same way, but I guess we'll find out. Maybe just a little bit different on the timing there, a little bit earlier. Let's see if it helps. It's going to be tight. Nope. Oh, so close. Very close, and therefore very doable. It looks like it's just me at the moment. My shift patterns and the way I'm driving this car, it's just a little off, just enough off that I'm not getting this the way I should be. Okay, let's try again. So again, this is not the most optimal combo, and obviously if you don't have full fusions, this is one of those combos that you're not going to make it. Oh, that looks like a 7. That looked like a 7. I think I got it. Wow, barely, but that's kind of surprising that the tire and intake actually looked worse than tire and turbo. When I ran it, at least ran slower than intake by itself. But regardless, now you have the layout here. Nitrous can do it by itself, body by itself, trans by itself, engine by itself. Then you have these guys, turbo and intake are the weak ones, and they can't even do it in combination. But those two in combination with anything else, or those two individually in combination with tire, will all get you through the speed trap. So that is the variations on the various speed traps. I hope that this video will be helpful to you. Let me know what you think, or if you find any better ways to tune or drive to make it even easier. In any case, good luck in LA Builder this season. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you like my videos and would like notifications when I put up new ones, please subscribe to the channel so you can get them. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.